my shoes, or like even Himbo Fitness is like a Twitch streamer merch that I love watching.
Okay.
Hello.
Let me see your tattoo.
We are rolling.
So
Yeah.
it's two snakes. It represents my relationship with my sister. We're 2 years apart. It's a yin and yang type thing. I wanted it to be white, but nobody wanted it tatted white.
Okay.
So I got it red. But we just feel like twins. So
Who's older?
I am.
Okay.
And so the nature of our relationship, it's kind of like yin and yang, where I'm the white snake and she's the black snake. Kind of where like life breathes into death, but death also breathes into life, kind of.
And this is
cycle.
for your sister?
Yeah, me and my sister.
Can you show the camera? Or for
It's kind of hard.
snakes?
Yeah, two snakes intertwined.
That's actually really cool. I got a tattoo for my sister too.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
You got so many.
This one
It
right
literally says her name.
here. So Heartbeat, Vivian, and this. And I did this when I was in high school.
Nice.
You did this as in yourself, or you got it?
I did this myself.
Awesome.
Wow.
Electric toothbrush, a little bit of mechanical
What?
tweaking, and then with a big pen.
That is
So
awesome.
this has been in my arm since I was probably about 15.
That's beautiful.
See, I didn't even know.
I need to touch it up. We'll probably do a whole nother podcast.
Do you need to touch it up though? I mean,
Here's the thing. I didn't want to touch it up
Yeah.
because it's so raw. It has a story.
It's
Like
raw.
even the
Yeah,
toothbrush
exactly.
stuff. Because the thing is, like, I was at the military academy and I'm like depressed. You know, like I have nobody to talk to. I don't even have a phone. Like we're not allowed phones outside communication.
Yeah.
So like inside my head, I'm just like, if I'm sitting in the bed or in my room and there's nothing to do, it's like, all right, like it's time to go hard. 14, 15. Like imagine like 14, 15-year-old like out on the wrestling mat or just out and
Just
about,
going crazy.
just having the tattoos.
Yeah.
So that was kind
That's
of like
pretty raw. That's cool. That's awesome.
the snakes drew me in because my mom's like spirit animal is the snake, and
Awesome.
I got to watch her. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, kind of go through like a transformation in her life where she just decided like, I want to be a different person and like enjoy life more and go do crazy
Awesome.
things, like go on road trips by herself and like really just explore and be herself. So she's like, I'm the snake. Like I shed my old skin and now I'm
And
new.
now
Like I'm still
born new.
me, but like I got a new skin. So I've been thinking about getting a snake tattoo.
You
So
should-
anytime
Yeah.
I see it, I'm like,
You should.
yeah,
You should
yeah.
You should just get a snake. Just don't even think about it. I feel like a snake, like the animal snake, it gets like on the outside it's like I wouldn't say a bad rep, but like you know snakes are known to be like
Yeah.
evil,
Yeah,
like
like
evil
the
and have
serpent, the
a bad
temptation.
thing. But like honestly, like I think they have a lot of good characteristics. Even the other day when you told me about my back, I was thinking, I was like, dude, I feel like my back looks like King Cobra. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't really occur to me until I was like, oh wow, it does.
Yeah. it's
Like, why
pretty
would I-
sick. It's pretty sick.
For your non-fitness people, when Alex flexes and does his rear lat spread, his back just opens up almost
Right
like
down.
the neck of a king cobra.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when I saw it. So
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys, to Mind and Body, hosted by Alex, me, and
John, the bodybuilding vegan.
today we have a very special guest.
Felix Alvarez. Hi. Nice to meet you guys.
I'm sure some of you guys want to know who he is. I personally met him at Bailey's gym. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you explain what do you do there.
Yeah. So originally I was just a member at Bailey's gym for a while, and then eventually I decided to join the team and been working there for about a year and a half now. So
Okay.
yeah. So
I would say my main reason why I wanted him on this podcast is because I feel like him and his personality is just really good to be around. Obviously, as you can see, he always has a smile on his face. And I admit that sometimes I'll go into the gym and like as I'm walking towards the entrance, a lot of times I'll be in a bad fucking mood. Really bad mood. Well, just like a sour face. And then like, no matter what, this man will scream across the room, hey Alex, hey, like make sure he knows that I'm acknowledging him. And yeah, it just kind of puts me in a better mood. So
Alex, honestly, one of the most strongest things I've realized working at the front counter at the at the gym is I've noticed that I have an impact on people's day, and more than that, like how they look at the world, right? For me, it started off with Warren. I started going to the gym super self-conscious, and him greeting me every day I came in actually inspired me to come in and day out to work on myself. And so, I'm just trying to pay it back forward. And, you inspire me with your lifting. John, you inspire me with your lifting. I've had my transformation stories, but what you guys do too, every day, day in and day out. I mean, you guys are Olympians. You guys are Greek gods, I'm trying to be like you guys, honestly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot. So I wanted to, there's a couple of topics that I wanted to, bring up today. I would say the first topic, if you guys have been listening to our podcast, the second episode was where we had the queens of the Mind and Body podcast. I guess we would say we were talking about gym etiquette and seeing like the girls' version side of like, when creepers come up to them, or like when you're trying to, when a dude or even a girl is trying to hit on like a guy or a girl, like, and because you're a worker, we almost wanted to see like your side of things.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is a reality while working out in the gym and just being around the gym that there are people that use it for the wrong reason, maybe more to socialize. And that's where you get that kind of like, someone tried to hit on me. But gym etiquette overall, yeah, I mean, rack your weights, please.
We promote that every day, man.
If you could push 10 plates on each side, that's amazing. But I think it should only count if you unrack the weights.
Yeah, you don't need to find out, that guy did 10 plates.
right. There shouldn't be evidence left. But yeah, I think overall, there are different experiences you can have depending on where you go. One of my biggest things within Bailey's and just gym culture there is really pushing this community-based feeling where people feel safe, where they could work out, where they can make friends, socialize, but they're not being approached by every other dude trying to get their number. They're actually having, genuine conversations and having a good time lifting, because that's what it's all about.
Say, like even me personally, I would say like almost like 90% of my friends came from the gym, and I feel like I would say like it's not even the fact that it's like the gym. Like, of course, like when you meet a new friend, you have to have some type of like similarities, to strike up a conversation. As me and John, like the first thing we talked about was fitness, of course.
Yeah.
So I do believe, but I also believe that I gotta try a little bit better and maybe like put myself out there. But I would say like when I'm out and about, I should be able to use those characteristics / things that I use at the gym and kind of carry that forward in the real world, because I know not everybody is in the fitness industry, and there's a lot of amazing people out there that probably just don't even work out at all. And they're just
I completely agree with you. I started this thing when I talk to new people. The first question after kind of introducing myself, I ask them, "What's your favorite thing to do?" And typically, it like takes the person a moment to kind of, I guess, realize what I'm asking them, but also like put together what they enjoy doing. Sometimes people give me an answer that's kind of like, "Oh, I like lifting." I'm like, "Okay, I like lifting too, but I also have other passions and other desires." Like I enjoy making music. I love playing video games. I love going to the park. I love meditating. But And then eventually, after some egging on, I have to say, okay, but what do you do for your guilty pleasure? What do you do on your free time? Usually it's like, oh, I love drawing, or oh, I love journaling. And then I have like a very genuine conversation or a very genuine connection with that person. And typically I try my best to know a little about everything, so that if somebody knows a lot about something, I can kind of drift with them, at least have a conversation with them or learn from them, you know? So anytime you're out, if you see somebody that has a nice physique, try asking their name. Go, hey, you know, what gym do you work out at, you know? Or like, what's your favorite thing to do, you know? It's probably lifting, but...
Like, I guess like almost in a like real quick way, like rapid fire. I feel like we should, you know, even around the room, real quick. Like, besides fitness, what is like
your favorite thing?
Favorite thing to do? Like, real quick. You only got 5 seconds to say. John, go.
Put me on the spot. I really like hiking. I like quality time, whether it's with like a family member, a friend, relationship. I like business. I feel like it's almost like a game, like with unwritten rules, because when you run your own business, you determine your own hours, you determine who you want to work with, what you want to promote, what you want to do. So while it's challenging, and sometimes I wish I could turn it off, I get a lot of pleasure and satisfaction from work. As weird as it might sound, but like,
I feel
that's
that
completely
1,000%.
understandable. Yeah, you can affect the world that way, you know?
Sometimes it feels like a responsibility, man. Like you told me earlier that, like, to use your words, that I look like a Greek god. Like, in my head, I don't, but like, I'm trying to not negate when other people give me compliments or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And try and interact. Like, we were walking down the street yesterday, and this kid was like holding up a sign, and he's like, "That dude's buff," and I was just like, "Yeah!" And like, normally I would never do that because in my head I'm not buff, but like he thought I was, and like I wanted to like kind of give it back to him.
Yeah, give it to
so,
him. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think kind of what you delved into is like, what's your favorite thing to do? And they'll say lifting. Or like, what else do you like? Like, it's almost like being vulnerable. It's a little bit vulnerable to be like, oh, I'm vegan. I used to never tell people that. It used to be vulnerable to say that I like yoga. Like, what I do. So, just kind of open up to what's true to you. Yeah.
It's almost like finding out about a person that like you have no idea, or like you would have never expected to know that about them.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm trying to be more approachable, or at least like stand out, like so that I don't seem like an asshole. So I try to wear like brighter clothes, and I got my hair. So, because like I love your attire, like that's what I would have worn a couple of years ago. But if I wear that, like the number of people that talk to me gets cut down from like, I don't know, 90% to like 10%.
Would you say it's like? Is it like almost like the color black?
Yeah, just being in darker
colors.
clothing, kind of. At least based on what other people told me, with the beard and everything, kind of makes me seem more serious or more of an asshole. So, you though have great body language. You're always smiling. Like when you came in the door, I was like, "Oh, this is a nice guy." I don't really know, but like he's a nice guy. So like you carry it well, so you're fine. You keep doing it the way you want. But
for the viewers, like they literally just met.
Yeah.
Before we started airing, John asked me like, "Who is this guy?" I was like, "Look." I explained very little to him, and I said, "Look, this guy is probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet." So,
and then of course my question is, how do you guys meet? And I was like, "Oh, at the gym." I was like,
at the gym.
Yeah, of course.
At the gym. I mean, I would love to one day bring a guest here that like has nothing to do with the gym. That way, maybe it could relate. But realistically, the only people that like actually talk to me,
my brother. I'll bring him on because. He's not really like me at all, at least in a lot of ways. Like, he doesn't work out. He used to be a gymnast, like a really high-level gymnast. But, like, he started listening to this. He's like, dude, you've been making podcasts for, like, 3-4 years. This is the first one I've enjoyed because it's not just, like, lifting and vegan food. It's, like, other stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, I do personally try my best. Like, of course, like, it's in our nature to talk about fitness.
Yeah.
But we do try our best to kind of steer the direction in a way where other people can relate.
Yeah, right before we got rolling, I already got a couple topics that I want to delve into. But I think we should steer this into Felix. You know, we have him on here. You had already listed out some points, so what do we want to start with, Alex?
Okay. Well, I would say the main thing is this will be the last fitness topic. Now, there's one story that he has personally told me, and I feel like it's an amazing story that I feel like a lot of our viewers could relate to. It's your transformation line. Yeah. I mean, you know, yeah. I guess you weren't always this good looking, huh?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So back in 2021 in June, I was around 264 pounds. That was 64 pounds heavier than I am today. But I lost a total of 88 pounds in my entire journey. Originally, it started with just walking, going to parks, trying to jog, and then building up where I could just walk miles. I'd do 2 miles, 3 miles. If I felt good, 4 miles. And then I got a gym membership at Bailey's, and at that point, I was going through some pretty bad stuff with an ex-girlfriend, and she ended up leaving me. And so I just had all this time to myself. I lived in an apartment with my best friends. They all moved away. They moved, like, one moved to Germany, one moved to Louisiana, one moved to St. Augustine. So I was by myself in this town, going to school, just unlimited free time. And so I had 3 months of just straight dedication to my nutrition, to my fitness, and I lost like the bulk of my weight, around 40-ish, 50-ish pounds in that time. But one of the biggest things I did was get a personal trainer, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was a guy named Kevin that worked at Bailey's, and he noticed my desire to really learn fitness, and he took me under his wing more than just a payment every session. He took care of me, and he showed me everything. He would work out with me on his free time, and that passion just pushed me further and further until I got to the point where I'm at now. So, and it's a daily drive. It's once you kind of see it, you can't unsee it. You can turn it off, but there's always a flip where you could switch it on, and it's the best thing I have ever, pretty much given to myself, And I know you guys know that self-dedication, the push, the grind, the hard work, the eating when it's hard, that's what it is.
Oh,
it's the gym.
To put it no other way, to me it's a little bit addicting. I mean, it really is. Like, I think if somebody took away bodybuilding or fitness from me, that I'd probably find another drug or some outlet, because I have so much energy to put into this right now. Like, I don't know where that would go if I didn't have it. So, like,
yeah,
I feel it. But it goes. Let me ask. So you were like 260,
mm-hmm.
and as that weight dropped, how would you say your mental health went?
So, funny thing is, body dysmorphia stinks. It's awful. I lost like 30 pounds, 40 pounds, but for me it wasn't good enough, So it kept going, but eventually, like, the desire to look good and to please others slowly faded away, and then the desire to really kind of feel like that Greek god, it pushed me further and further to where my body didn't really matter to me the way it looked. I understood it's a process that I'm going to continuously work on, The immediately does not matter. I'll get to the 6-pack, 8-pack if I want to. I'll just got to give myself that dedication and time,
Okay.
And so the confidence and the mental health did come, but it wasn't from the physical.
It wasn't just how you looked. It's like,
yeah.
I think for me, part of the confidence comes, like, I feel like if I changed how I look completely, like, let's say I got in a car accident, like, couldn't work out, I was like 120 pounds or something, I think I still have all the same confidence, because, like, when you put that work into changing yourself, that work's already been put in. You changed who you are, and, like, whether or not the body reflects it, you've already put in the work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Would you say, there is one thing that I was kind of curious about. so going all the way back when before you even like touched the gym, you said 260.
264.
Okay, so when you were at 260, I guess you would say when was it? Was it like almost like flip of the script? Like you felt like you woke up one day and you felt like you had to do something about it?
Yeah, there was a particular moment where I just looked at myself in the mirror and I wasn't satisfied with kind of like not only the way I looked, but also my mental, like where I had put myself with my poor diet and my poor treatment of my physical health. And at that moment, it switched. I was like, I'm going to walk at least 2 miles a day starting. I'm going to walk at least 3 miles a day, 4 miles a day. You know, some days I'd go to Bailey's. I'd walk 2 miles I'd be there for 2 hours walking 2 miles on the treadmill. I'd hit my lift, go home, and then walk another 2 miles, 3 miles out at my apartment, you know. And the walking outside was more of like a meditative process, because while I was lifting, I also would meditate for 2 hours at home. For the 3 months I was by myself, I would go upstairs and lay on my floor, play meditation music, and just self-meditate. And originally started with a guided meditation, but then eventually I had enough time where I felt like I had gotten the vibe and just laid there and really thought about the things that affected my mental or that were affecting me in some way, and working on a process for myself to solve those issues, kind of back tracing to the source, if in a way.
Trying to think how like this would relate to like me, because I can't even imagine like how like, you know, the mental, because you like in my story, like I've never like, I would say like honestly I've been somewhat fit my whole life, like even as a child, so it's really hard to like almost like connect with, you know, people such as yourself, because you know, of course I admire and respect it, but it's almost like I wish, like even me personally, that I could almost experience it myself. I know that's not something that you're willing to want, like you shouldn't want to do that, I'm sure, because
I mean it's just curiosity. You want to see like what that would feel like and how difficult it could be. You know, I was pretty skinny as a kid, and I didn't gain weight until college. My freshman 15 was like a freshman 85 pounds, you know, and that's what it was. So I was fit before I'd gone to a gym at senior year of my high school, and I kind of knew what I was doing, but then during college I got kind of busy with school. I got busy with a girlfriend that lived 4 hours away, you know. I got busy with work, and then so eating just completely changed. So I ate for convenience and tastiness, and so I gained the weight in a very like 4-year period.
during the
During
period?
college, during COVID. And so for me, what was I felt even worse was I didn't even feel comfortable in my body. Like I felt like I didn't look like myself. So for me, it was very hard to kind of like just sit there and accept myself the way I was, even though, you know, I was perfect the way I was. That's the fact. For me, I just had to work on it, and I found my answer through the gym. You know, just like John was saying, like it's like a drug. There's stints like I stop and kind of for a week, but I always come back, and those endorphins after an amazing workout, you can't beat it, because that sense of accomplishment doesn't, you know, you don't get that from any drug. So it's like, I just lifted the building. I feel amazing because I lifted that building and people saw me do it, you know?
Yeah. I think, for me, like, lifting or, like, maybe some things with, like, business.
Yeah.
But, like, nothing I could buy. Like, you could give me $1 million and, like, I go buy a Ferrari or some shit, but, like, that's not gonna make me feel as good as, like, a good leg day. It's like it's just at the end of the day, it won't. I think that's why I keep going back. I wanted to ask you, you had mentioned prior to us rolling this, some stuff around COVID and specifically how eating changed for you. And I imagine that people in the fitness industry and both outside of it probably have been through similar things but maybe haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind sharing that, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, of course. One of my biggest things when I was losing weight was kind of the idea of fixing my habitual natures, because I understood that eating was habitual. And so if I could kind of condition myself to eat better, but condition it in, it would make it a habit rather than something I'm forcing myself to do every day, right? So kind of one example I can remember right now is like after hitting the gym, I would jump in my car and give myself a piece of fresh mint gum, because there's a study done by Procter & Gamble, or of Procter & Gamble, and the mint that they put in their toothpaste it's minty not because that's how it tastes, but so that it creates a habitual nature within your brain so that you brush your teeth every morning.
Okay.
Right? So I kind of hijacked that and tried to do it with my mint gum. And it was kind of like I was trying to convince myself I was doing it, but it was working because I was going to the gym. So whatever process, it was still working, and so
That's interesting. I've
but
never heard of that.
Yeah, but one of the biggest things, the biggest way I gained weight was the habit I created by ordering food. Like I would DoorDash food like crazy, and I would eat it all because eating to completion was something I did my entire life. So I would get these offers where I'd get a bunch of food for a pretty good deal, order at home, and then I would just get addicted to ordering food, so I'd keep eating, And so fixing that habit and kind of replacing that, I don't think that's a battle I've completely won, ordering food, but changing my nutritional, what I'm eating, ordering Zoe's Kitchen instead of McDonald's,
Yeah.
Ordering Chick-fil-A salads instead of McDonald's, stuff like that. It's kind of like, okay, I'm not doing the best, but I'm not doing the worst, and slowly weaning myself down to where I'm cooking myself meals, just like turkey patties and rice and sweet potatoes, broccoli, and just eating clean like that for, as long as I could until I broke down and eventually had McDonald's again.
Would you say with the eating, say like there's somebody out there, of course many people out there that, don't work out or any relation to exercise, and they're constantly eating fast food. Would you say that? I don't think people are expecting, or nobody's expecting, for them to straight up go from McDonald's to all this fast food and stuff straight to like just super healthy foods. But would you say like if you were to just take one meal and to just try to make it healthy, like just like when you were saying the weaning down bit, affecting your mental health, like would that help?
Just trying to replace one meal, I think eventually it'll be hard, because what'll happen is your body is so used to the type of way you're eating that if you're trying to replace one meal with a salad, that's always going to be the salad. You know what I mean? It's always the salad. That's my healthy choice, today. I think that's a good option if the plan is to, okay, now replace two. Now I'm having like a salad and grilled chicken with veggies, right? If you're kind of compartmentalizing it like that, I think that is a good way to do it. But yeah,
it's almost all psychological. Like
I'm sure that it is. I bet the apps are designed too, like, act now, like you got an hour to get this
Right,
yeah. So probably even just getting off of those apps would probably help a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you really want the food, call it in or something.
For sure.
Because I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever used a food app before.
Yeah.
I don't think I have either.
No.
Sometimes I feel like I'm getting old, but it's just not something I'd ever tried before, so I didn't even think about it from that side.
Yeah, I thought it was more of a me thing that I was battling this addiction by myself, but the more and more I talk to individuals that are like a little bit younger than me or my age that had the same experience during COVID, really did get used to just ordering food. So like now, you know, we'll be working and somebody will order Dunkin' Donuts, which for me, in my brain, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't order Dunkin' Donuts, but for other people, they do, you know.
So like you said, it's all habits, habit formation, and I think our society is conspiracy theories here, whatever, but it's based around money, and it's like there's money in advertising for unhealthy foods and for these companies, so they're gonna make it as easy as possible to get that in your hands.
Yeah, these people are paying for your eyeballs.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
I mean, you definitely see a lot more McDonald's commercials than you do see
Any,
Yeah.
any
The
nice
healthy food,
nutritional
for
food.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is totally random. I admit, I had Chipotle yesterday. What do you think?
In my opinion, I think
it's healthy.
I think you know, if you're eating the right stuff, Chipotle could be healthy, right?
I feel like
Yeah.
Chipotle's healthy. See, and that's the thing. It's like
That's
each their own.
That's my, you know, that's my version. That's what I see as okay. It's like if I'm getting rice, beans, you know, chicken and some beef in there, I'm not really going crazy with the cheese and other stuff. Or
like when
if
it
you
comes-
need fat, you know, throw some cheese on it.
When it comes to
I feel
food,
like-
it's almost like there's always a better option.
For
No
sure.
matter what, even if you do have a healthy option, there's something better than that,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And
We
I
can
think,
eat spinach all day.
like even me, I look forward to my meals.
Yeah.
You know, like eat like the healthy meals. Like, I would say like my version when it comes to like food eating, like to try to train myself into like eating healthy, is I feel like I almost like attack my food aggressively.
Okay.
Like every time I get a meal in, like I know I get 6 meals a day. Okay.
Yeah.
6 meals a day. If I conquer those 6 meals, okay, keep in mind my 6 meals have like very little sugar. You know, you can ask her. You ask her, like, I don't eat a whole lot of sugar, but here's the catch. Here's the catch. At the end of the night, when I feel like okay, I attacked those 6 meals and I won, it's like all right, like a brownie won't hurt.
Okay.
You know, like a cookie won't hurt because at the end of the day, tomorrow, I'm just gonna go burn it all.
Burn it off.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go burn it off.
You're not gonna see that cookie.
Yeah. Don't take you know,
Don't
physical
take diet
training advice from me.
advice.
He's the coach.
I'm over here like,
He's the coach.
Of
let me
course,
try
we
that. I'll
need
attack my
moderation.
6 meals
Yeah.
and then eat a whole cake.
I've done it many times,
Yeah.
but I just feel like there's just too many
Finding
factors.
balance. I feel like finding balance. It depends on your goal. If you're competing, you know,
Right.
obviously that cookie, you will see that cookie. You will see that brownie. Like everything
Your
you
eyes get
consume.
big, yeah.
Yeah, everything you consume does count. But if you're someone trying to be healthy, you know, trying to be good, you know, that cookie is not gonna show up.
Are you okay?
Just a slight inconvenience.
No, the cup spilled.
Nice.
I'm sorry, guys. Something happened behind the stage.
Our directors are having technical difficulties. Stand
You
by.
know what?
Would you like to show the audience?
Will this be the first
Her
cut or
ass
edit we
cheek.
have?
I think
I would say let's not cut it, but let's just see. Hey, this is like sometimes
Terrible.
hard
Hi.
work. It's
we
pretty
just
messy.
ran out of paper towels, so a towel.
Nice.
Is there?
Glad everyone's
I
doing
feel
well.
like you know, our direction. Maybe we could try to change the course. Is there anything that you would like to, you know, say or like have any like topics you want to talk about? I mean, either of you guys?
I have a question, but it can wait. So
Oh no, you can go ahead.
More stuff that was talked about briefly when I was just getting to know you.
Yeah.
You mentioned you went through a 4-year relationship and a subsequent breakup.
Yeah.
For my own curiosity, I'd like to know how you worked through that and what that was like for you, and like where you're at now, and if you had any advice for anybody else going through something similar.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people going through that because it's a normal thing. Yeah, I went through a relationship. It was a 4-hour distance long relationship, but most of it was during COVID. So for 2 years, that individual stayed with me. So it was kind of like I still got to see him a lot. But we broke up, and after the breakup, I decided to start my fitness journey. But going through the fitness journey and meditation were the two ways I dealt with it, because it was pretty hard. Like after a certain amount of time when you spend with somebody, you kind of envision your life with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty difficult to just like forget about it, right?
For you, again, for my own curiosity, did you see this coming? Was this expected or was this unexpected?
Yeah, part of it was expected. It's like you could see the writing on the wall. Partially, I felt like it was due to my weight gain, but of course, I don't mean that because the individual said it wasn't. But for me, it was a very big eye-opening situation. Like, I was pretty much an adolescent child within the relationship in terms of growing up and dealing with responsibilities as an adult, and then also understanding as an adult what it takes to kind of get ready for a family. So before that, I just expected, boom, house comes and then you have a family, but I wasn't really working towards that or had any ambition, So boom, I get my heart broken, and then it's kind of like poof, waves, just a bunch of everything. And so meditation, I would say, is probably the biggest advice I could give somebody, is just like sit there with you and your mind and just think things out. Like think about whatever, that's your space. You could think about how it could have went out, or you could think about how it is, or whatever,
Yeah.
So it's just working through the process and just understanding at the end of the day, you are who you are and you are your experiences. So if you push through that, you'll come out better. You'll come out on top.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
So
Thank you for sharing.
yeah, of course.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're 24?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the old guy. I'm 30. But wow.
That's not. Yeah, no.
He always has something nice to say.
I consider old like 70. So.
I hang out with people that are a lot younger than me usually, so in my mind I kind of still feel like I'm around your age. So do you feel like? I feel like certain people take a silver lining to anything, or can learn from any experience.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that's what you did. Instead of saying like, "Oh, this person just wasn't right for me," or "They didn't care," or whatever, like you're like, "Well, what could I work on? What could I do to become better for me?"
Yeah, well, the truth is the individual decided they didn't want to be with it. I had to come to that conclusion. It was very obvious, So it was just like, well, what can I do to fix that, right? Not that I want the situation back or the relationship back, but in order to be the individual I thought I was, what can I do? What could I fix? And going back and fixing those things, and even going back to previous relationships and apologizing for things I did in those. It's just like, own up to what you did. Be honest, be genuine, and only genuine things can come from that.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that. Funny enough, we had Alyssa on last podcast. I don't know if these would be sequential exactly, but Alyssa was on here, my best friend.
Yeah.
And I gained her as a best friend after going through my last breakup. Like, her and I just became friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember stating to her, hey, I figured it all out. This is like a month into my breakup. I figured it all out. Either in 6 months, I'm going to be back together with my ex.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to be the best person I can for that. Well, in 6 months, I'm going to be with somebody else. And I'm going to be the best person that I can for that.
Yeah.
And Alyssa, 19, says, why don't you just be the best person you can for yourself? And I was like, So, going through that myself, like I get it. Like,
Yeah.
what did I do wrong, or what could I have done better, and not to regain what I've lost, but just to be the best that I can for those around me going forward.
Yeah, going forward, because it's the reality is you yourself are kind of haunted by relationships you've had with others, whether that be your parents' childhood trauma or trauma through relationships. You know, those things get dragged with you, and if you don't take a second and like try to recoup or at least take a pause to patch that up, you know, you're gonna eventually bring that home with the next individual you get involved with.
Yeah.
At least I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just personally thinking like, I haven't said much. I just trying to listen to your story because like it's very emotional.
Yeah.
And, I feel that connection because it's something that I can personally relate to. Just trying to think about back at the time. You said what, COVID time?
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah, that time was. I don't think it was good for anybody, honestly. That time was not good.
I feel like a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, a lot of people can relate.
Yeah.
I mean, during that time, I feel like because it's almost like nobody was working at that time, and like everybody was struggling and stuff. And in my position, like I was like the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I'm my work was where it's nowhere around people. So because people are at home, that I'm getting even more work, like triple.
Just
So I'm doing nothing but working. So like I would say like even the whole relationship or all that good stuff. Like I just never had time for like myself. So I kind of lost myself during that time period.
Yeah.
So I
And
definitely
did you
understand.
experience anything that like finding yourself not working as much?
Ooh.
Once everything started to get to normal, did that have an effect on you? Where you're like, oh, I always have to work.
Honestly, I think me working, like work, I think that trait of mine has always been there. Like ever since, I've always been a hard worker. Like my thing is like grinding because I fear like when I get older to the point where I can't move or anything, like that's it. That's all the time you have left to grind. But I think for sure, like I definitely lost sight of like I guess you would say like almost like I had to learn time management first, self-acceptance and the things that I do wrong. And honestly, I think like even to the viewers, I think self-acceptance is definitely one of the hardest things to work on.
For sure.
Doesn't matter who you are. Self-acceptance is it's a bitch.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really is a bitch.
It's easy to forgive other people. It's really hard to forgive yourself.
It really is. I mean, I can even say this myself, even still to this day. Like I'm so hard on myself. I constantly say that I'm a perfectionist. That like anything I do, I feel like I always have eyes on me, or I'm always trying to like prove myself to other people. So I sometimes like even me like just kind of like self-building that I need to like take a step back and realize that like what, like if it's good for you, then it's good.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
and I need to work. I need to work a little bit better on that because I do get really emotional. Like even today, like even setting up this podcast, man. Like I wanted to make a good impression to you, and of course, like John, girlfriends.
Well, I want you to know, Alex. My favorite thing is I don't have any impression. Like I'm not applying any impression. I'm not trying to set you to any standard. I try to not set anybody to a certain standard because I just want you, Alex. I want your genuineness. I don't want you to try to do something flashy for me because I don't need something flashy. I see you in the gym. I see you in the gym. I see you when you're in your youth space, and I appreciate you because I see the work you do for yourself. I see the work you do for Mary. I see the work you guys do with each other. And it's inspiring. It's beautiful.
I appreciate
So
I was gonna say like like when it comes to me like seeing other people like I have no standard. Like I'm very like
Yeah.
open-minded and whatnot, and sometimes I feel like I genuinely need to start applying that to myself. Yeah, like because man, I can't even tell you like even all day like my standards for myself are just so fucking high up the roof that it's like if I don't meet that, like all hope is lost.
Yeah.
That's how I genuinely feel. I mean, like not realistically, but I feel like it's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I just need to dial back, take the time to accept, like, you know what, Alex, like, people will see that you're working hard.
Working hard.
People will see that you do care, and you know, you're trying to be a good person / friend for other people. So
Yeah.
You are.
I appreciate that. I try.
No, you seriously are. You definitely are hard on yourself because we're trying to like co-host this podcast, and you're always texting me like, maybe I should do this. Maybe we should get a studio. Maybe we should be like, and you're always. I love that your head and ambitions are high, but part of them being high forces you to be hard on yourself. And,
For sure. I mean, guys, like, the thing is, like, I have so many projects going on, but, like, any type of project that I do, and honestly, like, I know while the topic's up there, but I personally feel like if you're going to start a project, to not, like, don't think down on it, you know, see the success or, like, even hope for the success and try to do as much as you can for it to be successful, but also at the same time, like, remember that journey. And like even me, at the end of the day, if there's no viewers that are listening to us, I can genuinely say I can sit here and appreciate that we had a good conversation with, you know, best bud and a really, really good friend of mine. So
yeah, that's what I told him before. I was like, we're just hanging out, like asking questions that we don't already know about each other. I think I put this on one, like I was driving over, you probably heard it, and I still listen. I was like, what am I doing? I'm like driving to Alex's house to make a podcast. She's like, we gonna have fun? I'm like, of course, we're just gonna like hang out, but like, what are we doing? We're just gonna enjoy it. So, yeah, it was just, I think we're on the right track. I think bringing up mental health as like in the mind and body, that's the mind side, and I feel like mental health will portray and push into the physical health side.
So much. It's kind of, they say you look good, you feel good, but if you can get yourself to feel good, you can get yourself to look good, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh.
well, is there anything else? Would there be like any type of shout out that you would like to, you know, speak? Because of course, like, you know, you're our special guest for this episode. So, is there any like shout outs or anything that you would like to, you know, say before we close this out?
Not really. No.
Or questions to ask them.
No.
Is there a special girl?
No, not really. My girlfriend dropped me off. But no, thank you for listening to me. You know, I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to this podcast. It was really fun getting to know John and getting to know you better, Alex. You know, your family's really cute, Alex.
all of them.
Everybody.
Don't worry, but you know, of course.
I got a question.
Even the weight train family.
Oh yes. Actually, the weight train got started during COVID. So I got laid off, and so it's like silver lining. You know, I got laid off, now I got time to do something else. You have Pokemon on your shoes. So, what is your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite Pokemon, I'm basic. It's Charizard.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Can't go wrong with
it's
that.
Charizard.
What's yours?
So,
Oh man, I haven't played it forever.
Really?
I don't know, man. I used to like Pikachu when I played the little Nintendo game, like the handheld one.
It depends on which version.
yeah.
It depends on which version. Mine is Mewtwo.
Mewtwo?
That dude is
pretty
like,
sick.
I mean, yeah. Like when they play him like in the movies, it's just like they see him as like immortal.
Yeah,
like
pretty
immortal.
much
Like
like
there's
a
no.
human being.
We got Alex trying to be the best Pokemon. That's all
Yeah.
The top of the top.
I like Squirtle too.
Squirtle's pretty sick, yeah.
The little guy. He's
So wait, were you guys the people that like drove around and played Pokemon Go while you're driving and like completely going against
I'm
the
guilty.
law?
Yeah,
Here's
I'm
the
guilty,
thing.
I'm guilty.
Here's the thing. I was never a Pokemon Go guy.
No?
No, I was the Nintendo DS
Yeah.
I
Put it in the
love
slot
Nintendo DS.
and start, you know, joysticking it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was that type of guy.
During
Love
like
Pokemon.
during high school, Pokemon Go got really big for me, so I was just being active. It was pretty fun. It was a pretty cool thing because people were out and about just catching Pokemon.
My best friend Brandon used to make us drive around the UF campus and collect Pokemon. Like he'd be driving and he'd be like, click on that
and the
spot, and I'm like,
swipe it.
what is?
Didn't they originally made it for like
spend an hour
walking
to-
almost? Like
Yeah.
I mean, of
So
course,
you're
like you got the Pokemon aspect of it, but of course, like they also made it a way to advocate, like
Getting out.
getting out, go see some fresh
Yeah,
air,
go touch some
go breathe
grass.
fresh air, touch some
And
grass.
here we are driving to.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
there's this thing that we do where it's a hashtag. It's HTBDE, and right here on the shirt.
Okay.
Can you? Curious.
Oh yeah.
What do you
Put
think
on
it
the
means?
spot.
What do you think that means?
Help the best doers ever.
You know, he wasn't that far off.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Have the best day ever. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how we've been doing our outro.
Okay. Have the best day ever.
Have the best day ever.
Best day ever.
Perfect, man.
Yeah, you
That was
killed
it.
You killed it.
That was it, dude. You killed it.
Yeah.
Good job, Jesse.
Sorry. That was awesome.